Sorry?
So I packed my raincoat on the top for the first time I've done that for a while. Well, it's only this morning, isn't it? At 90%. The weather forecast said it's raining now, and it asked me the question. It said yes or no, so I said no. And it says, well, for the moment it might not be. Turns out the frogs are early risers. Got some people had torches on in front of us. So not dark enough for that. The one's actually broken. Very strange, because at the bottom of my bag has been my little stones that I brought from home, and I've had to put them in the top of my bag this morning because in half an hour's time I'm going to lose 2 of those. Not sure how I feel about that. Got quite attached to my stones in the bottom of my bag. It's really quite warm this morning. Nice breeze, thank goodness. Cool. Last night we had, kept me slept through it. We had rain coming in through the windows, which is quite impressive because the walls must be half a metre thick. So the rain was being driven with sufficient force to get through half a metre and then past the window. It blew the lampshade off the light in the room. It was howling, I tell you, and lashing it down. I was thinking, oh, that's going to be a bit interesting tomorrow. But that's alright, all right. Cloudy, sure. And the clouds look pretty. Surprised how clear the valley is looking out. God, there's a serious radio mast over there, isn't there? It's funny, the statue out of the pilgrims, it's a long line of them, which is just outside of Pamplona, and then this across to Ferres, sort of such well-known milestones on the Camino Francais that have a job to see past them. And so even though we're 15 minutes away this morning, it's sort of like, oh, I can see Finisterre and Muxia, but they're kind of like in the distance. So it's going to be a bit weird in a second. I haven't actually reached that. Thrown a couple of stones on there. And then it's like, oh right, okay. Moving on from there. It's a bit like Exmoor, looking down a green valley. A cuckoo singing away. Well, yeah, Exmoor would be a gorse-clad valley, rather than here it's a broom, and then you've got to times it by 100. Yeah. Wild open spaces you get in Spain. The tree across has just materialised out of the trees. It's like, ooh, wow, okay. It's weird how a wooden post sticking up amongst a load of stones can have such symbolism. There we go. This is an agreement that over thousands of years we're going to screw over geologists. They're going to rock up here and go, what's going on here? Where did all these stones come from? It's cool. strange. And groups been stood there for quite a while, plucking up the courage to walk up there. It is a strange feeling. It's a lot of stuff to leave behind. Incredibly peaceful, really nice. Walking on the soil, just trying to process the experience of across the Ferrers. That it's just trying to do a little bit of research. It's definitely over 3,000 years that people have been walking along this way. Celts, Romans, modern day mankind. And Juan said to me, one of his volunteers said that what makes the Camino special is everybody leaves a little spark of themselves along the way. That's I think maybe some part of the aura of the place. It's getting a bit tricky. All the plants are wet, so it was a bit sticky with a storm yesterday. It's so peaceful going along here this morning, which is helping lots. Trying to process the experience we've just had, and you can just very gently hear in the distance the jingle of a cow's bell. It's really nice, and the bird song. There's a lovely, because of the rain, aroma of soil. Suddenly out into the mountains. Definitely bits of snow. They're on the north face of the mountain. On the other side, like Carrie said, cloud inversion. That's not clouds, that's mountains that you can see the darker. Not sure that the camera can do a view credit and capture the moment. I was actually just thinking that the meseta is a really important, really nice part, but actually without doing the meseta I don't think you would be ready to experience the across the Ferrers. But yeah, so I know Carrie was particularly apprehensive about doing the meseta, but actually it was lovely. That's a really important part of the Camino. Got quite a big herd here. Listen to those bells. Oh wow. Oh, I wonder if this is I remember seeing that there was a caravan coffee stoppy thing. I think it is.
Is this a cool cafe?
I think it might be.
John?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I'm more into the cows, Kerry. There's cows, and they're ringing bells. Here's about all these pictures. This is a quirky cafe for us. We love quirky cafes. It's playing some nice music, but actually I'd be just as happy listening to the cows bells. Nice choice of music. Got a fire going as well, look at that. A view with the Limousin cows. Here's a cow with a character, isn't it? Beautiful smell of wood smoke. Trying to drive it up the floor. Hello. Hiya. You little cutie. You little cutie.
Like you say, it's just.
Swiss flags are quite appropriate for where we are. Oh, and they got a nice doggy as well. Can you hear all the cowbells? There's Limousin. We're in heaven at the moment. There's all the cattle there. And you hear the calves. There you go. That was mum then. Those are the hills that we couldn't decide whether snow or not. Turns out there are, because there's just masses of it everywhere. And these are all the north slopes that we're looking at. Gosh, the contrast between this and the Meseta. I mean, we're only 2 days. Yes, I think it's the third day after leaving the Meseta. And the morning off. I mean, you know, it's still pretty early. I haven't looked at the clock, but I don't think it's probably 8 o'clock yet. And we've just done across to Ferrez Lake. You see the path. And we weave up there. The modern day version of a cross on the top of a hill is a telephone mast. Oh dear. There we go. Oh, we are loving being in the mountains. Wow. These, which might be wrong, because you get these ridiculously long troughs. Because this would have been an old trading route, and they would have had a load of donkeys or whatever it was that animals anyhow, beasts of burden, that carrying all the goods, and you want them to drink all together, so you're not waiting around too long. That's my theory. I've not read it anywhere. It's John's at the moment. Mountain climates are great, isn't it? Like you can see it's raining over there. We've got sun here. So we've actually not had sunrise on us yet. It's 7:45. It's just about to break over the top of that hill. They always say, don't they, estate agents. Position. And gosh, that little caravan calf, wow, that was spectacular. You could kind of see the rain coming across the valley, but this blue sky, it's not going to be with us for long. I thought it was going to be Devon Mizzle, but no, it's proper raindrops. We've got our Spanish space rocket coming. So that's a bit sad, really. It's the highest bit on the Camino. I can't remember exactly what it is. I think it might be like 15, 17, something like that. But the good thing is pretty much all the way to Santiago now. We're in the mountains, so up and down like a yo-yo. I'm looking forward to that. This little bit of cloud that's hanging over there. We had our little... It was a shower, but they were not showers like you get back in England. They're fair old bits of rain droplets. Not the mizzle that we're used to. And now it's fine again. We'll probably get some more. It's actually a lovely day. How's that tower? I don't think we're quite at our house point for us. So peaceful. Just so got a tiny road here. Really, there's not much of a road, is it? There is a white line down the middle, but I can't see any other roads in the valleys. You know, my impression of Spain is there's just lots and lots of space. Although England's funny because you whiz up the motorway and it feels like just one big conurbation, really. But of course the motorway follows the easy route through the topography and it links all the major conurbations together. So for us, we whiz up from Exeter to Taunton to Bristol to Birmingham to Liverpool, Manchester, and so it goes on. But we were up at the Lake District for my birthday earlier in the year, and we came back via the Yorkshire Moors and the Peak District. Actually, you leave it and head up through the hills. It doesn't look much similar to this, but obviously much. Our hills are much softer. Gosh, I can't remember who I was talking to. Talking to someone the other day, and they'd gone somewhere and they were loving the mountains, and the locals were going, no, these are old mountains. They're soft, rounded edges. You need to go here to see new mountains that have got sharp, rugged edges. Anyhow, you can drive from the Scottish border, Hadrian's Wall, all the way down to Bristol, really. Just going through wonderful countryside with just farms and stuff. Very slow roads. And so it's, you get the one view when you, and it's the same with the railways. When we went from Paris to Bayonne, coming down to start the Camino, I was really looking forward to that journey on the train, and the train didn't disappoint, but the views out the window did. And of course it takes the easy route, next to the motorway, down through lots of commercial pine forests. There actually wasn't a lot to see, and so you could have a view that middle of France hasn't got much to offer, and yet we've driven through the Central Massif at in the Tarn, and actually not so keen on the Ardèche. The Ardèche is actually on the edge. That's too commercialised. And actually, weirdly, when you drop down in the Tarn, masses of people on there. It's almost too remote. Actually, I like the little villages. Go and find a bakery and a bar, and so the Tarn delivers that just by the bucket loads. I think I've done the Ardèche a couple of times now. I've done the Tarn a couple of times. I would say the Tarn is 100 times better than the Ardèche. But they're both spectacular, and they're both in the centre of France. Yeah. We're going to get you see people posting pictures of oh, it's almost like a man. It's cool. Or a woman. I didn't think we were going to get wet bits of the Camino path, but the Camino provides. Moving into Galicia, which is like southwest Wales, Ireland. You know, it's a mountainous region on the western edge, and a reason that the Celts and Romans walked this ancient path as they were walking to the end of the world, at Finisterre. Surprising bits. You know, you think there's 500,000 pilgrims going to walk along here this year. I'm sure at some point they'll go and trim it. But, and then, luckily, you know, at home after a rain shower, doing that, you get absolutely soaked, like walking in the shower. But because there's, I don't know, 100 pilgrims in front of me, they've all knocked the water off these bushes, and so the bits that we scrape against are largely dry until the next rain shower comes. Oops. I'm liking this. Wonderful. Tower. So this must be the highest bit of the Camino. The snow-clad cloud mountains around us. I can see we're dropping down into the valley there. Then we climb up again and down again and up again. Oh look, there's a little village there. Just the sun's just starting to clip it. Wow, it's a big old village. That'll be interesting because it's off the Camino completely. So the houses look pretty much intact. Doesn't look like lots of the derelict places you go through. Like, well, we just had our coffee at the caravan. That was quite a big village, but I don't think there was any houses that were lived in. Sorry? Yeah, town. It's like being in an aeroplane. Cool. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a lake, Kerry. Ready for another coffee stop. Not desperate for one, but coffee stop will go down very well. Sun on the hills there. Oh, that's just a little bit technical. Nothing dire, I quite enjoy these. But I have found that on the Camino I'm far more conscious of my foot placement than I normally would be. You're thinking, really don't want to go and sprain an ankle or anything, but I'll do something more serious and put an end to the Camino. The 3 alberges ago, the lady from the Netherlands, she bought the Camino last year, pretty sure it was last year, from Belgium all the way down. But she'd walked from Belgium, hadn't quite got into St. John, and we've spoken to a surprising number, not a ridiculous number, but people that have, done considerable distances through France. Much more difficult. That there aren't really alberges, and if they are, they're expensive, and you must pre-book meals and bits and pieces. And so one guy I was speaking to, he came down from Belgium. He'd stayed at the Ibiza's hotels all the way down through, or largely, and I only thought about it afterwards. Of course, the hassle with that must be, I'm guessing, is a lot of those are on motorway junctions and things. So it's, so trying to walk on the Camino path and then find accommodation that isn't too far off the path. You do get them in hotels and stuff. finish the story. She fell over, broke her wrist just before St John, and so it wasn't had some stitches on her lip. She did a good job, but, and so that paid that one. So she had to come home, rehabilitate from that one, and then she came back in September and finished the Camino.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Just got a better view of this lovely little village. I'm really surprised it looks so intact. A lot of the places are kind of deserted. Obviously would have been a farming community at one time. Maybe it still is. Or maybe what it actually is on the top. I don't know if you can see, but a load of wind vanes. Maybe the modern day equivalent is it's full of wind vane engineers at close to their place of work in the wonderful place in the mountains. I was talking to Juan, and Juan was saying that when you get home, people ask you about the Camino, and he said don't try and explain it to them that they can't understand. Just tell them that they have to walk it if they want to understand. And I know where he's coming from, but I was thinking, well, actually, I think to some extent you can. So we all know that actually walking is a form of meditation. You know, when you have a problem you want to solve, you go out and you have a walk, 1-2 hours maybe, and you'll resolve it. You'll come up with a plan of action, and that plan of action will actually give you great peace. And actually, once you've come up with a plan of action, you probably won't stop the walk. You'll probably then carry on, and that's the meditation bit where you just then, allow nature to kind of heal you and relax you. And so when you get back from your walk, you have a resolution to your problem. Some problems are just shit, whatever you do, and you just got to kind of accept that's what it is. And you've had that time out. So imagine doing that for 5 hours a day so we are 35 days in now, I think. And so you have all this time to go through all these thoughts in your mind. And it surprised me. I had, a whole series of things that happened in my life a long time back, and keep sort of reoccurring in my thoughts. And what I've learned to do is to think, well, okay, that's happened. I can't change that. What can I learn from that? Okay, and then just throw it away. And so I think lots of people talk about it. Camino's really good at going clearing your mind of all that clutter that's in there. And I was talking to Juan, and I was saying, actually everything I need's on my backpack, and it keeps getting lighter by the day. I keep thinking, well, actually, I don't need that. It's getting ridiculously light. I hardly notice it's on my shoulders this morning. I'm thinking I must have left some stuff back at the Albergia because it just feels so light. And so, when we get home, I'm going to do a major declutter. And he said, yeah, and he actually says that the Camino doesn't really start until you actually get home after you've done this one. So there we go. So we've got that mindfulness of going through, clearing your thoughts. And of course, once you've got rid of all those reoccurring thoughts in your mind, you've actually just got that lovely, gentle progress through the countryside that just changes most of the time, very, very subtly. So just enough to enrich your mind and allow you to get in that Zen meditation state. I don't think I could sit and do nothing, but actually I can walk, or I really like it. Actually, it's interesting how I used to really enjoy whitewater kayaking, and I prefer canoeing now. And I think it's the same. I like to be on a moving water, but just going along in the water, seeing the reflection, and then the scenery slowly change as you go around the meanders in the river. It's rather magical. And then you've got all those bits, and then you've got the human interactions. In fact, actually, we'll do the easier one. We've got the nature interactions, of which are just masses. Well, that's just super easy, isn't it? You can't but not notice the natural environment around you as you're walking along, the fauna and flora, all they're feathery things and insects, and they're all magical. And then you get the human interactions. So that's unusual in the Camino. But, there's something about people that come on the Camino that, on the whole, want to meet and talk to other people. And so I read in a book the other day that you meet someone at a shared albergue dinner or in a cafe, and you exchange a few words, and you know what their name is, where they come from, a few bits like that, and then you then find that the next day you meet them at another cafe or at the same albergue that you are, and it's big smiles and big welcomes, like they're long lost friends you haven't seen for a while. And then you bump into a third time you end up giving them a big hug, and you'll end up sharing things with them that you probably never shared with anybody before, which is a bit surreal. And the diversity of cultures that you come across. Like I said, the only bit that's missing is a Muslim world and Russia. Everything else, I can't think of anywhere else that's South America, Australia, New Zealand, really popular with Asia. Taiwan, Japan, Chinese. And so you've got those things, and you get a realization that actually we're all the same. The TV would portray that to not be the case in the the media, but you actually realise that actually people are lovely wherever they come from in the world. Yeah, you get a few strange souls, but large and behold, Wham was saying that actually he's noticed that older people that are looking for a partner are starting to walk the Camino to find, rather than using Tinder. And it's like, it makes a lot of sense, because you walk along, you strike up a conversation with somebody walking. If you get along with them, you walk for hours and hours chatting away and hit a cafe, and you just repeat that over days. And so actually, over a week, you probably get to know them better than you would do in 10 years doing something else. And if, of course, you don't get on with them, then you slow down or speed up, or to sit with someone else at the next table. So there we go. That's the and then there is a spiritual bit. I'm not religious, but I've always found nature spiritually invigorating and renewing, and so doing that for 5, and it's actually more than 5 hours a day, because what I like doing is we walk for 5 hours, and then we get in, have a shower, have a siesta, and then I enjoy exploring the place we live in. And my favourite place is to explore these little farming villages. But there's always lots to see and experience, and locals to meet. And that's unusual as well. If we were back home in Devon and Cornwall, the locals resent the tourists. They need them for the money, but they resent them because they push the house prices up. They buy second homes, and so the locals can't afford their children to buy a house or even find a house, and they block up our roads. And so there's quite a lot of resent, I would say, in Devon and Cornwall with tourism. Not the case for the Camino. So when you come across locals, they will talk to you with some reverence, and yet they've seen thousands of other pilgrims go through, but they'll actually, not everybody, but a surprising number will make an effort to make some sort of connection with you, and you get a real respect, a real sense that they respect what you're doing. It's not a one-day walk you're on. I'm not quite sure what town that is. I wonder if that's an airport there. I don't know. Can't say I look at any excitement at dropping into cities. Villages, I think we've got a couple of villages before we get to the town. Villages I love. We spy a little village. I think there's actually a number of these today. Awesome. The other bit I love about walking is that just steady, rhythmic pacing of your feet. And every time you put your foot down, the pressure on your foot actually pumps blood around your body. So it's just, we're designed to walk. I actually quite enjoy having a rucksack on. Something about the weight on my hips gives me a good position. And then the walking poles are even better because they give you a fantastic, they push you really upright. You end up having a great walking position with your poles. And I've got normal, these things, normal trekking poles. I've actually got women's ones because they were a bit lighter than the men's ones. And I use them like a Nordic walking pole when I'm going along. So it's using all your upper body, your abs, so it becomes much more of a whole body workout. You actually burn more calories when you use your poles, but it feels way easier, and we walk way faster with the poles. It takes a lot of the pressure off your knees, and then when we're going down, I use them different. Good job doing it one-handedly. I'm gonna lose one. There we go. But I put my hand on the top. Normally I'd have both poles, and so I use them somewhat differently, but same length. I don't mess around with the length. They're as long as they go, so that like a Nordic style, so you really push yourself along, really propel yourself along when you're walking along on the flats, and then that long length works really well when you're going downhill because you can put your hand on the top. But for me, I wouldn't recommend using as a cafe. Nordic poles, you end up having like a glove you put on that the Nordic pole clips into, and I've used them a bit in the past, and I find that in hot weather your hands expanding as they get hot, that it becomes uncomfortable, and it's just an unnecessary faff. The straps on these, I use them all the time, so when I'm putting a force on my poles when I'm walking forward, the force actually goes down through the strap to propel me forward. I would definitely use two. The only downside is I'd really like to have a wooden Peregrino walking pole. They just look awesome, but they're just too effective, the modern ones. A wonderful view. Well, actually I prefer that view. Oh, another little village on the top over there, on the plateau. And it looks largely up together too. This view. And this is just from everybody's all enjoying a much needed cafe stop. It is a pretty village, isn't it? The view out behind these about a broom smells gorgeous. Some steps of perspective, if you're brave enough. What's a broom? Cool, yeah, it is a very... Lots of broom everywhere. I mean, lots. Every house. This is just lovely. We've dropped down quite a bit, but still up in the mountains with lovely views. The way the clouds hang in the valleys. Got a few rocks sticking out. Remind me of some walks we did in the Pyrenees last year. It's a long, this is not a tricky descent, but steep. We said on the guide, it says we basically go downhill all day long, which is quite hard on your knees. It's actually harder really than going uphill. Uphill is just a bit of a puff. The poles help lots. Amazing to think this would have been the road out of the village at one time. A little lovely mountain village. Well, I'm assuming it's going to be lovely. First house looks pretty cool. 223. Yeah, I don't think we're going to quite get in the 200s tomorrow. I think it's going to be the day after. So, yeah, not sure how far we've got to go today. Cob, very similar to what we had at home. Get lots of very impressive vegetable gardens. Oh, look at him! Wow! Gosh, come off camera, focus. Gorgeous. Oh, I'm going to take a photo, but a video or two. Oh, yeah. Somebody's on the roof, just got to do the rest of the house. Cool. Bees loving this one. Oh gosh, lovely. Got climbing rows going up through there as well. Large leaved lime. The bees like it. Good sign. No bar. Trouble is, we've just been to the bar, so actually we're okay. There's only so many bars you can hit a day. Guessing it's a spring. Don't know. I tell you, this place is lovely, but to say it's dead. Interestingly, most of the houses are in good state of order. So I don't know, Casa Royale, so it's probably a holiday place. Oh, I'm liking him. Oops, threw my walking sticks down so I can zoom in. What a cool guy he is. I think a lot of Japanese postal routes are like that. Really steep. I watched a program that somebody did a lot of hiking in Japan, and he was hiking the old Japanese postal routes. A lot of the locals would have a steep hill like that out of their village because it's really mountainous, and every day they go and walk up it so far as part of their fitness regime. Oh, look at this. Get these views in between the houses. You can see that, I might just to say it's magical. There we go, look at that. It's a big village. Oops, sorry, walking pole's getting into shot. I think it's a bit like Appledore at home. This Casa Royale, something like that. On a lot of the buildings, which I think is a bit like a sort of Airbnb holiday home. Oh wow, gosh. Camino de Santiago. We met a couple of boys. I did take a photo. Yes, you will see. Of a couple of electric mountain bikes. They were old, 70s at least, I should say. Sorry? Oh right, oh yes, I forgot that. Yeah, there we go. So we now know those bottles are there because it stops dogs peeing against your garden. I think it's more unsightly having the bottles and letting the dogs have a wee. And we've not seen that many dogs. Yeah, it's a great video on. You'll find it on YouTube. Frenchie. So he is, I think he's 24 years old in each leg. So 88, and he still races skis. Yeah, so he's 88 in each leg, still mountain bikes, still ski races. It's quite incredible. And these two old boys this morning, they reminded me of him. I had half a bottle of wine with them, some bread and some local ham. I reckon they probably mountain biked up from the town we're walking down to at the moment. We're having their little lunch stop for turning around and coming home. How cool is that? It reminds me of walking down a stream bed. Like it's nice and dry, or mostly. Oh. Watch out, steady on my feet. Quite a musty descent, strong, yeah, musty smell. Now we've got a ridiculous number of wild roses, and elderflower scent is just really heady, gorgeous. I think, ooh, glass of elderflower cordial, that'll go down well. Elderflower gin, there we go, now we're really talking. Are you listening to the birds? Did you listen to the water? Yes, I did. Tick and tick. Every day. Well, don't always get the water every day, but pretty rare that we don't get the birds singing away to us. Usually enjoy listening to audiobooks, but I don't know, last I don't know how many days, maybe 4 days. I've just found it intrusive. I just like listening to the crunch of my feet and the birds and the frogs make me smile, and the grasshoppers. That and the bells of the cows. That's, you can see why the Buddhist monks and the Chinese temples and things have a bell they ring. I don't know, there's something special about that. It's different to, you listen to quite a few sort of town bells and church bells. I don't know, somehow they're not quite, I guess they're so big, designed to be heard over a long distance. Doesn't seem to have such a sweet resonance. Look at this. Spot the field. It's possible this is grazed here, and maybe at the top of that hill over there, but mostly it's just bush, natural bush. And I would say maybe got some commercial conifer plantation there and there, but largely we're in a beautiful. We've heard a couple of cars today. Gosh, what's the time? Yeah, it's 11 o'clock. So I mean, we were out the door just before 6 this morning. So we've been going for 5 hours. I think maybe 2, possibly 3 cars. And in between either seeing or hearing those cars, all you can hear is nature. I mean, that's just mind-blowing, isn't it? Show you this plant just because of the name of it. Daisy-leaved toadflax. I mean, it's just, oh, I've got a cool bee on there, look at that. Oh, isn't it a cutie? Solitary bee. You are beautiful. Wow. He likes the daisy-leaved toadflax, although I suspect he probably doesn't know its name. Yeah, we are in a gorge with, apart from the electric pylons and the Camino path and our lovely daisy-leaved toadflax. So I just, some of the things just have names that you just roll off the lips. You just have to keep saying it. It's quite warm, but not unpleasantly so. Although warm enough that Carrie's waiting for me, stood in the shade. She's saying, "What are you waiting for?" And it's like, I got to show you this plant. It's awesome. Camera lets you down. Just coming out of this valley, got a bit of a road down here, but look, right at the top here, my eyes can pick it up. If I zoom in, the camera will pick it up. Got a little bit of snow. How cool's that? Very cool, turns out. And then we're dropping down here. Should be quite an exciting day because this town is renowned as being a beach bums town. I was talking to a pilgrim back at the Pearl Negro, which is a fantastic albergue right up there. Yeah, I think our favourite one. We've had a few awesome ones, but that's our favourite one to date. And there was an American guy that volunteers for a month every year there, and he was saying this was one of his favourite towns on the Camino. Everybody walks around in swimwear, and they put a dam up on the river and turn the river into a great big swimming pool at the beginning of town. And he says it's just got a really nice vibe to it. Anywhere where they naturally swim in the river's got to be a bit of a winner for me. The concept of swimming in a rectangular box, well, it's not a box, is it? In a concrete rectangular thingy in a rectangular building that's devoid of natural light and sunlight. I mean, when you get the sun shining down on water and you get the dappled reflection on the floor, and if that floor is, a sandy, stony, whatever that natural environment is, then all the more magic. And then really, for it to be somewhere that excites me greatly, the river must be moving. You've got to have a current there. And if it's got some rocks to jump off into deep pools, and it's cold, then we're starting to hit lots of things on my wish list. Still, we'll see. I think a swimmer's on its way. For the view. Oh, that's lovely. It's the river. You can hear the river. That bodes well for my my swim. It's been a long old walk today. I don't think we've done much more than 20k. Carrie will tell me in a minute when we get there. She organises our stages. Yeah, it's just come up to 12 o'clock, which will be sort of 6 hours. I mean, what do we do? We stopped at the Costa Ferres, had that emotional piece, and then we had that incredible cafe, the little caravan with the cattle. That was, wow, that was up there. There's only one other cafe we've stopped at that matched that one, which was the one with a circular table, all the fruit and bits and pieces. Although actually the olive tree calf was nice as well, but not on the patch of those two. Then we stopped at there were two bars. The bar was really nice, but actually the coffee wasn't that great, which is unusual. And we had a sort of a pasty thing, which ended up leaving. And that's it. I mean, we've walked past another couple of bars because actually we're doing okay. But, yeah, so I think it's just this sort of terrain it's slow. We're used to the Meseta where it's very efficient. You just got a gravelly path that's in a dead straight line. It's dead flat. You can cover some ground pretty quickly. Some of these mountain trail bits. It'll be interesting to see. Kerry's got a GPS watch. We find actually every day that her watch is different to the specified length of the trail, and it's always just a bit longer. Today I think it might be quite a bit, but it'll be interesting to see. Doesn't really matter, it's been a gorgeous walk. 2:19, woo! I'm taking away. Oh my goodness, alright, yeah, okay. I've just processed that in my brain. It means that we're going to break the 200 tomorrow for sure. But, although you do have to take these kilometre markers with a pinch of salt. They're sort of approximately accurate. I'm sure some of them are spot on. Some of them are optimistic, some of them are pessimistic. But, I don't like to say which that one is. Doesn't matter. Gosh. Yeah, it's a bit like in Burgos, the cathedral. On a much grander scale, has those sort of towers within the cathedral, and then they're glazed around the side, and so you get all this light from the top of the cathedral falling down. And there's something about circular space, isn't it? Whether it's a wigwam, a teepee, or a yurt, or a cob house with all the curved. We can hear the cockerels singing as we're coming down into the town. But definitely something I love about Spain is everybody's got chickens, and if they got chickens, they got a cockerel, and cockerels like to sing. A swim spot looks like. It's got a nice moving river like that. Just need to have a pool. Bridges and meanders tend to be great places for swims, but that's not deep enough. That's where they normally block it off their swimming pool. That's too much like a swimming pool, concrete sides. I think we'll find somewhere that we can have a little bit of a pool. There's a second pool down there, but something natural would be kind of cool. We're just having a quick look. There it goes, nice. I'll watch them walk off the wrong way. Yes, we've only walked a normal sort of 20k today, so it's taken us way longer than we normally expect, and so we normally walk at 5 kilometers an hour, maybe a little bit more, but today was 3, and it was just, the train was tricky, lots of weavy mountain, slippy rocks and bits and pieces, but a lovely walk that I wouldn't have missed for a minute. Ooh. Almost tripped over the cobbles. This looks like a pretty place to be stopping tonight. Oh wow. Loving this. Swimming pools, so put a sluice gate at the bottom of that one. It's actually surprisingly shallow. But then you're going to be in a concrete chute, and then obviously these are much bigger, and in a concrete bit as well. Nice bridge, not as nice as it was sounding, but then I've not seen a photo yet of. Oh wow, the water goes high actually. Look, you can see the water line there, and then there's a rail there. Must be when they kind of swim widths. That's a bit like when you do back crawl. A big old chunk of water. Yeah, so maybe it's sort of nicer than you're led to feel at the moment. And then I was looking for a natural place, and there is actually one underneath the bridge, which is where you usually find them. On tight bends and bridges. This bridge is no good. Still, I got wet when the sun was out earlier. Nice. Oh, I've taken a photo. That's where we had lunch, and I went and lied down on my back in there, which was just deep enough to put my head under the water. And, you see these big sluicy things. Yeah, the water must come all the way up to where it changes colour. Actually, maybe it's considerably cooler. You're gonna find a photo of what it's like in the summer. It's a nice town. It's an unusual little bit sticking out of the top, isn't it? Hostel. Up the old bridge here. And we grabbed a drink when we came in there. Put my feet in the mill leat. Oh, mill leat's dry now. Wasn't earlier. I'm done. Just thinking this food sign with all the flags around the side, just look at them, is indicative of all the different nationalities you get that come and do the Camino. It is nuts, I tell you. There's a competition that going. I doubt where they will actually be quite easy. I've now sussed out to use the Google photo search. Grass, wood shavings, flowers, rose petals, coloured sand. It's a lot of work to go and make this. You get a sense of how steep the hills are here. That back of the house, and it's just built straight into the back of the hill, which keeps going up. This church's got loads of olive trees in it. I like that. Church that gives. All these old buildings. I wonder whether actually Spain's a better place to walk in than Austria. Austria's super pretty, isn't it? Everything's twee and up together and expensive. Actually, I find these old buildings in states of disrepair, just oozing the character. And it's just so cheap to eat out and sleep. Yeah, 2 from Teenhead, 2 from Belvedere Tower, and a sneaky one that Sam put in, which we won't turn over, but will disappear at Finisterre. To see the world in a grain of sand and heaven in a wildflower. hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and yeah, we're looking up at it.